Very good evening, guys. This is Suman Murthy, co-founder of Zobs. I'm extremely sorry to keep you guys waiting for about 20 minutes. We had to sort out a minor technical glitch at the back end, so it is being rectified right now. And I really appreciate your time and patience. And thanks everybody for joining the event Amplify Business Conference. So this is the um, third webinar series that we are doing today. And in fact, it's really overwhelming that today we have a huge participation of about 200 plus participants from across India, and we also have some of the participants joining from overseas. So, welcome to the event. Today we have four blockbuster speakers, four different sessions, and I'm going to also host and speak in one of the sessions, which is the first session that we are about to start. Followed by that, we'll have two more experienced speakers joining in us in the next two sessions. So it's going to be like a thrilling blockbuster movie, I would say, next 3 hours. So stay hooked on. Of course, we will have sufficient breaks in between, and I will also guide you how to go about asking questions and make it much more interactive. So if I am audible, can you guys give a thumbs up? You have a smiley button at the bottom of the screen, right? So you can hit the thumbs up button if I'm audible to you guys, and if you guys are able to hear me loud and clear. Okay, great. Thank you so much. All right. So um, let me start with this small introduction of mine. So as you guys know, myself, Suman Murthy, co-founder of Zobs. Zobs is a talent management and events organization. So I come from a decade of experience in recruitment and employee engagement. So my career started with Decathlon as a employee engagement and recruitment uh, recruiter way back in 2008. So I worked there for quite some time. I'm a very uh, sports enthusiast. So I joined Decathlon as my first organization and spent good amount of time there. From there on, I got an opportunity to work with an organization called Roosh. So Roosh is part of Sara Group, and under Sara Group, we had three organizations. One is Roosh. You guys must have heard about Barbecue Nation. It's a very well-known restaurant. And apart from that, we also had a hospitality brand called Honesta. So part of Roosh, I started my journey into sales, then moved into recruitment. Spent about 5 years, 5 years in recruitment and employee engagement. That was really very good experience because I had a very stable career. Learned a lot. Um, Learned different processes within HR as well. Was also supporting payrolling too. 5 years just went with a lot of learning and experience, and then I moved on to another organization called Arvind. So again in Arvind, I was working as a HR recruiter, taking care of entire South. So I was taking care of about eight brands across the South. We had about 2,000 employees. So the funniest thing was every month we used to do a massive scale of hiring, about 200 employees, and we had a very high attrition rate, especially in the stores. About 30% was the attrition rate. So my task was to ensure that I keep recruiting and also make sure those attrition rates are pretty low. And I also see a lot of students joined in our session, which is really interesting because we will have my another partner who's going to be joining with us a little later, and he will also talk about yes, Mr. GS Kumar is already here, right?
Yeah.
Kumar also will talk to you guys about the current job scenario and what are the challenges that you guys face at this point in time, and what are the skill sets that you need to develop in order to break through. Right? So can we all give a round of applause to Mr. GS Kumar? So you have the applause button. So please feel free to click on the applause button. Thank you so much, guys. You guys have been a very wonderful, active and engaging audience, right? So Kumar comes from a career consulting background, so he's got his own firm, GS Kumar. He does help a lot of students in building, not only students, even professionals in building very attractive and wonderful resumes, doing branding on LinkedIn. Plus, he's also an interview coach. He can be a good guide for you to develop your skills in order to get that breakthrough jobs. And apart from that, he also does training. He comes from a corporate experience. He worked in Manipal as a uh, deputy manager for HR for quite some time. Basically taking care of the recruitment and training activities there. Then he also has experience working in Wipro as a senior recruiter in the infrastructure vertical, and he mainly served in the hiring of leadership and managerial roles. So really good to have you, Kumar. And what is it that you would like to share to our audience today?
Thanks, Suman, for this wonderful opportunity, and it's very inspiring to join this particular webinar. I just want to give two main insight, and then I'll be open for questions. So one is like the current hiring trends and what is the demands from the potential employer. So today the challenge is because of this COVID. There is a lot of convincing aspects is required from the job seekers to the potential employees that I can perform. So earlier years, there is no such struggle like I have to go for a lot of convincing. Today, the convincing power requires more because of this challenges, and you have to prove that you are a problem solver. Otherwise, why should they recruit you? So, be it graduate, fresh graduate, or junior level or senior level, you have to prove yourself that you are a problem solver with your technical skills or any other functional skills. So that is the requirement of this R. So when we are going into the job market and seeking for jobs, our energy levels should be for the industries where they are performing at their best level. So top performing industries we have to target and then apply to jobs rather than applying to random companies and getting disappointed. So focus your energies towards only performing industries, which I will list out later. So that will make more sense rather than going for a random application with job portals. Second thing is look for companies which there is a potential to grow for next 5 years. So those kind of companies we have to target, and then if we are working towards that particular model, our growth also will have a stronger growth. And the main point I would stress is don't be afraid of short-term career changes because we could have come up with our own passion of doing an MBA or BE, or we will have our own goals of career aspects. Maybe it can be we will feel that I should go only for the HR kind of a roles. Maybe I'll go for only the finance kind of roles. This passion will be there, but just because of this temporary setback, we have to change our attitude towards job. So anything which gives a career transition, moving from your personal goal, personal roadmap, don't worry about that because everybody will understand that this problem is existing. And when you go to your mainstream later after 2 years or 3 years, they will understand that. So career transition is the need for the hour, and maybe I will suggest you some the best career options or plan B options to survive if at all you are not getting jobs in the mainstream. And any job you can take, but if at all there is an option for remote, shifting that job into a remote working kind of a model or work from home model, I would suggest you to take that because in any which way it's going to be like 2 years 3 years this kind of a prediction is available. Even though the lockdown is lifted up, there might be a lot of restrictions in terms of transportation and other stuff. So we may not right now we don't have a clarity in terms of transportation and other stuff. So work from home kind of an option, remote working option, maybe the one of the extended version of jobs. So we should be very flexible enough to take up those kind of jobs. And our home video conferencing setups like the net meeting setups, those things technically we have to be very strong so that your job need not be stopped just because you don't have a technical connectivity. So that's what I would suggest. Second would be the right skills for an employment is something in the recent trend. It has been changing very fast. So whatever it is applicable for last year, it is not applicable for this year. So that level of transformation is happening even in the expectation of the skills itself. So the biggest gap is like the ability to learn. Like once we graduate either BE or MBA, we stop our learning curve. Like we feel that it's done and we don't have time and we have to go for a job and then grow from it. So it may not work going forward. So we have to keep upskilling ourselves in terms of new technologies, and that new technology should contribute to the business requirement. So if the business requirement is not addressed, there lies, there is a challenge that we have to face in terms of job losses and all that. So, and skill wise, whatever is required for tomorrow, we have to start learning today. So that sensitivity we should have, and then do the upskilling to ourselves to survive in this kind of model. So, see, upskilling also, it is not very cost investment strategy we have to plan. It is, see, you have all this YouTube tutorial is available on anything you if you want to learn, be it technical IT skills or soft skills. All tutorials are free in YouTube. Second thing, even if you want certificates, you can go to Udemy, and then very cheaper prices now. This online courses are available. So get into that and work on your basics, upskill some new skills, and then try to get more and more certificates, which will add value to your resume. Because a guy who is looking at business, he will be looking at resume as a value proposition or a business proposal. Correct. So it should not be like a traditional resume where we mention the tabular column of our education background and internship and other stuff, which is very vague. Rather, it should be like a business proposal where we tell them these are all the technical skills available, and I can reduce your costing on that, or I can reduce your time on that, or I can reduce your effort on that. So this will make more sense rather than just giving a vague idea that I can perform, I'm hardworking, all that. So think about those aspects on where you can contribute technically, which business uh, requires. So business is now driven by the end user requirement rather than the traditional methods. So now last 2 months you could have seen a lot of home delivery option, be it food or be it anything. Only people who has adopted to this model of home delivery, they have survived, right? So KFC, Domino's, or all these Pizza Huts and Amazon, Flipkart, all those people have adopted earlier on the home delivery model. So that's why they are surviving in this isolation also. So that kind of a model will be implemented for the other services, where the business will think about how to reach out my end user rather than going with a traditional model of supply chain. In the sense, if at all textile manufacturer is there, the traditional model was something like he will manufacture, then it will go to the wholesaler, then go to the retailer, then it will go to the showroom, and end user meets there. But today, technology-wise, we have advanced, and now manufacturer can produce and put it in online so that he directly meet the online customer and then sell his solutions. So that way, the cost-wise also we are as an end user we get a very good discount on the product, because he is cutting his cost on his commissions towards wholesalers and retailers. So that way the entire model is changing. So we have to understand those business needs and then address our technical skills towards that. And skills wise, what kind of skills is required is get proficient in communication. So when I say communication, it is not only the spoken English, it is the way you present a product or service, or how you are giving a detailed picture about the problem, or how you make the other person understand the problem. That makes a lot of sense, because any profile requires customer interaction or interaction with the team. So that requires a detailed communication, transparent communication, along with email communication. So once you enter into corporate, email communication is mandatory. So communication in terms of emails, you will be working with various time zones, various level of regions, and that too globally. Especially into IT sectors, you will be working with US, UK clients. So email management is something very very crucial. So usually what happens is there is always a 50% miscommunication in all the emails. So you should make sure that you interact them with the proper wordings, proper professional emailing, uh, clear indicative subject lines. Those things you have to learn from YouTube and understand how it works. And you should send emails to your friends and understand whatever you have intended to communicate, whether it has been communicated in the right sense. So this 360-degree of communication is what you have to understand when you go into a corporate. Second thing is collaboration. Get proficient about collaborative working. When I say collaborative working, it is along with team members or along with the clients. All that team collaboration is required. Uh, if you don't understand the sensitivity of team, then we will not be able to perform. So alignment to the team goals and alignment with the individual people in the team is very much required, and you have to address those needs. Third is virtual meeting is a fact of life. So today, last quarter there was no such meetings, nothing was happening. Now every day there is a webinar. So virtual meeting, virtual team management is one of the key area where you have to concentrate and then try to understand the nuts and bolts of it. So opportunities wise, it is becoming global opportunities. Now today's job description, recent three job descriptions, what I have seen is the client is sitting at Ahmedabad and he is mentioning location as open for any location. So earlier there was a thing like preferred location where we will mention Bangalore or Chennai, whatever. So now the option itself, your opportunities are global. You have to think in that perspective that my opportunities are not restricted to a particular location. It is global now. So you can think of enhancing your vision and enhancing your technical skills so that you can fit to any kind of organization globally. So that is what the requirement is all about. So I think I'm done with a few insights. If you have any specific questions, I'm open to answer.
Thank you, Shandil, for taking us through a bird's eye view of the current job scenario and also giving such a wonderful insight so as to what is the skill sets and what are the soft skills and what is the area of focus that they need to develop themselves at this point in time, because uh, during crisis what happens is that there is a panic. There is no clarity what needs to be done. uh, when an experienced person like you is going to give some roadmap and share these are the things that you need to develop and be equipped with, so it gives them a lot of confidence to look forward to something. So now we will keep the questions open. You guys can ask us questions through chats. So you'll have to just click on questions and ask your chat question over chat, or you can also use the raise hand option. So once you click the raise hand option, you'll come online and then you can ask questions to either me or Kumar, right? So we'll take up two questions in interest of time. So since if you would like to ask any questions, you can go ahead, please. Okay, we have a question from a participant, Lata. Hi Kumar, Can you let us know clearly what would be the call of the day in terms of non-IT skills post-lockdown? What would be the call
Uh,
of the day in terms of non-IT skills?
okay, it's the basic item is what a business needs is what we have to address. So non-IT in that sense, I would understand. See, the current demands, I'll tell you, which can align to the requirement of business. So any which way, the requirement of business will be towards online. So online means obviously the first preference is website and other stuff, where a lot of content writing skills are required, and it is in huge demand. So content writing is something, anything you describe about the management or services, products, or even blogging and uh, content about medical aspects or review about books. Anything you write content in terms of business description becomes a valid point, and there is a huge requirement. There are a lot of people who know how to run a business, but they don't know how to represent in online. So there is a potential that a lot of content writer options are available, and that too international level. So in Indian context, you can charge 50 pice per word. That's the standard rate, and it may go on to 1 rupee or 1.25 rupees based on the skill set you have. So if you talk about internationally, it is even more like dollars kind of things you can quote per word. So getting a certification in content writing is definitely a skill and definitely give you a added advantage, even if you go to any other job openings. So this can become a plan B option where you can earn immediate money. So once the content has been done, you'll be paid immediately. So even in a 30 days a month, you can write 15 to 20 articles. That's more than enough, and solidly 15 to 20,000 rupees you can earn. So that's a potential I could see. Second thing is copywriting is one of the major requirement, because copywriting is something, it is also writing, but strategy towards sales. So anything you see about the caption of the product or services, it's a copy. Anything which provokes viewers or clients to provoke to buy a product or service, it's a copy. Anything business letters, email campaigning, all this is a copywriting. So this requires a huge. This is a huge demand, and many people are not there in that space. So copywriting, again, it's a certification which is provided in Udemy and other YouTube tutorial, where you can learn, practice, and then try to adopt, which provides a huge money. Huge, matlab huge. That level of requirement is there, but which is not being projected in a right way is what I feel. And yes. If that is answering your question, then fine. Or if you need a specific answer, I can answer.
Okay, thank you, Kumar, for taking up that question. And we have, yeah, thanks, Lata. So she's satisfied with the answer. We have Tushar Pathak, who's a student from GCO Engineering College, I suppose, GCOEA. So his question is, what would be the job opportunities after COVID-19? Of course, yes, there would be a lot of opportunities after COVID-19. Mostly, I see there is huge jobs coming up in manufacturing. Technology is, of course, evergreen, and like Kumar was rightly telling, content writing, even content marketing. Right. So what we're doing right now is pretty much content. Right. So we are coming online and then interacting with you guys. So anything that comes out of you, which is very innovative, so that will definitely catch a lot of traction. So, anything else you would like to add on? Opportunities after COVID-19?
That's what we have to be very picky about the core industries. Out of this entire spectrum of industries, we have to pick the industries where the entire business model is depends on the other businesses also. So where the core industries cannot function without this sub businesses. That is what the core industry. For example, pharma, medical equipments, healthcare is one of the sector where a lot of business are dependent. Okay, once a hospital functions and the other requirement is there, pharmacy can develop. A lot of medicines can develop. lot of medical equipments can develop. These are all these surrounded industries where once the core industry is performing well, these are also performing well. So that is one area. Second is all this e-commerce sites or e-commerce industry, where online meeting platforms, online groceries, online retailers, food delivery apps, these are the industries which are definitely going to perform for next 5 years, because any which way we are used to this online platform for last 5-10 years, and we are used to it, and the usage has been increased in these times also. So obviously, this industry will have a major benefit and growth. Third one is the digital marketing platform, where all the social media campaigning is very much required. But the awareness level is very, very minimum. I'm not sure whether the awareness level is there with the startups or freelancers kind of stuff. Because even a Facebook ad campaign, many people may not know how to implement. So it costs only 100 rupees or 200 rupees for 2 days or 3 days. But it requires only the understanding of how to run a Facebook ad campaign, and you have to create a beautiful poster to inspire the potential audience. The reach out will be taken care by the Facebook as per the limitations you give. You can give a location, you can give age category, you can give the subject of interest. With that, you can just fix it and then do your payment. This campaign will run for next 1 day, and it's very, very simple. And if you reach out at least 100, 1,000 people, at least you'll get 10 people, 20 people. So that level of lead generation activity, many of the startups or freelancers don't know. So they are running at a loss just because the awareness level is not there. So you pitch in and then understand the entire spectrum of digital marketing to help this particular target segment, especially startups, freelancers who needs leads to convert business. That's a huge potential. Especially, so next year, Tamil Nadu is going to face the elections. So a lot of people will be starting this social media presence, activity, lead generation, and branding. All that kind of things will be planned by the politicians. So if you are strong enough for next 6 months, you can start pitching for this political branding also for each individual. So that becomes a huge potential. So that's an opportunity. Fourth one is the digital entertainment. So nowadays there is no requirement that a particular slot is required to watch a movie or to watch a serial in television. Earlier, I think Suman, you might be accepting the fact that if at all we have to go for a movie, we have to go in a specific time.
That's right.
Or
Correct.
if at all we have to watch a television serial, we have to be there on time. Otherwise, we lost.
That's
There is no
correct.
second option that we can watch second time. There is no option at all.
Now the consumer has all the choices that he can execute in the world. It's
Correct.
actually a consumer-driven economy.
Correct. So he can watch anytime, any movie at any time. That's the kind of phase we are running. And it's a very advantageous also. And the viewers also shifting from television model to entertainment like Netflix, Hotstar, those kind of digital entertainment. So this
Absolutely.
industry is absolutely on the highest growth, where if you pitch in, you have a highest number of career growth. So pick
Absolutely.
these kind of industries where they are already performing. So only then you'll also join and perform better, rather than selecting to a industry where they have already struggling. So this could be the right option to choose.
Good. Very detailed response to that question. We'll take one more last question. Um, Okay, so we have two questions in fact. So we have 10 minutes for this session to get completed. So we'll take the question from Mr. Pradyuman Kumar. So his question is a student, DCE Darbanga. So that's the place he is from at the moment. So what are the skills for engineering students to stand in this competitive environment?
Technical skills, whatever is required for a business, anything related to website, okay, 360-degree of website requirement, if you analyze, that will be one of the skill. Second is the video drafting skill. If you engage and learn about video drafting, there is a huge potential, because apart from the regular corporates, there is a lot of YouTubers which are high in demand for video drafting, video editing, all that kind of stuff. Third one is the designing softwares, InDesign, Photoshop, those kind of softwares where even you can sit at home and then design to the corporate and earn a good money. So anything related to these kind of stuff where you can provide your design kind of stuff, creative level of design, video drafting, anything related to website, whatever a business requires technically, those technical skills you have to learn and then contribute. That makes more sense.
Excellent. Okay, we'll take one more question. This is from Swapna. Hi Kumar, after lockdown, can we expect more startups in healthcare and manufacture fields? Of course, yes, you can definitely expect more in healthcare and manufacture that we have already been discussing, and more opportunities in freelancing and online business. If yes, what will be your tip to improve skills in the lockdown? Or you're asking the tip at current lockdown period for career growth. So, a very elaborative question. Just to give you quite a few scenarios in my perspective, this is a gig economy. In fact, I read an article which said by 2021, 50 to 60% of the workforce in the West and in the United States will be work from home employees. And you will see a lot of employees moving into contractual role instead of working full time role, because the companies also want to reduce the cost, so they don't want to take full time employees. They will hire based on the projects. This is point number one. Point number two, it is a gig economy. Anybody who's got a skill can make that bucks, right? And online businesses, yep, of course, yes, we are living in a informative and technology age. Anything that you add value online will definitely will be a great career to choose. And tips to improve skills, I think Kumar can take over on that.
Tips in terms of, I think we have already discussed that what kind of skill expectation is there. See, first thing is we should not be shy enough to ask questions to any kind of a business or job. So questioning skill is a major skill where we can understand the detailing of business or job and then start contributing rather than assuming things and then performing. That makes a huge sense. And as usual, this communication, collaboration, virtual setup, all this is required and working in different time zone. So these are the major soft skill kind of an aspect which is expected from a potential candidate, plus the email communications and a spoken communication uh, which any job cannot teach you, that you should do this and all that. So that is very much is expected, so which you have to prepare well enough to address those aspects, otherwise there is a challenge. Technically, as I said, so content writing, copywriting, then there is one more chance called virtual assistant, where you can support all the corporate in terms of the productive or unproductive work which they are not able to invest time. So it can be presenting their social media platform, or calling their clients, or email management, or scheduling something, or those kind of work. It is very dominant in the global areas like US, UK. It is very very casual virtual assistant, but Indian context it is just starting. So it can be a part-time option where you can spend your quality time and become a virtual assistant, and that can give you more money. Then fourth is this digital marketing. Many of us don't even know that a lot of certifications are free. Google certifications, and most of the certifications are free. Only thing is we have to explore, try to engage, and then learn from it, and then contribute to the business. That is what is required.
Great,
So,
great.
so if you could start, if you want to start something in terms of this freelancing site, there is one site called Work and Hire, WorkandHire.com, Work and Hire, where a lot of people, freelancers, post their, profile, and a lot of clients they post their requirement. Where if your skill set matches, you can send a proposal and then try and engage with the client, and then make business. So I have recruited a lot of freelancers for my business for resume writing, Photoshop people, and content writer. A lot of content writer I have recruited from Work and Hire. So that's a good platform where if you have skill, you can just start contributing and then earn some money. So that's what I would suggest.
Fantastic. Thank you, Kumar, for answering patiently to our students and to our viewers as well. It was really, wonderful to have you part of our program, and also give us a lot of wonderful insights about the job scenario and the skills required. And Kumar is definitely available with us for any queries to be addressed over email. I would encourage you guys to write an email to me so that we can ask Kumar to respond back to you. And he's also available for career consultancy services as well. And I will be able to share his details over to you guys. So in case if you want to get in touch with him, please feel free to write to him or contact him for any kind of services that is offering. We have two more questions. One is how our economy can be lifted after the crisis. To answer that short, economy is driven by business. It is driven by entrepreneurs. So I would say we need to have more entrepreneurs in India to bring our economy to world class. Yes, of course. In the next 3 decades, you will see India will raise up the bar, and it will be global superpower. That can only happen if we can have more entrepreneurs. Next, we have another question which is related to home-based job. Pawan, just hold on to your question. So in the next session, we're going to talk about more about building entrepreneurship, and also I will talk about how to develop home-based jobs. Right. So in the next segment, we will take it forward. Thank you so much, Kumar, for joining the session. Right.
It's a pleasure,
So
Suman. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to contribute here. Thank you.
absolutely, it was so wonderful to have you on the show, and giving us a wonderful insights into it. And guys, we will just take a 5 minute break. Feel free if you would like to network, go ahead and network there, or if you would like to grab a cup of coffee, please feel free. The next 5 minutes, we can just take a break, and we will resume the session exactly at 6 p.m. I will join you guys in the second session with Mr. Sanjay Asthana. So Sanjay Asthana.